What do you think is motivating this kind of hallucinatory interpretation of our society being uniquely racist, sexist, homophobic? Like there's this kind of self-delusion going on here where
Well, some of it's ignorance.
right, and I mentioned this in one of my Quillette essays about our society being one of the most free, liberal, open-minded, inclusive societies that has ever existed. Right,
It is
the most for ethnic minorities, sexual minorities, transgender folks, all of that. But yet there's this narrative that me as a brown person, as an immigrant from India, like somehow I'm more of a victim than you are. That I live under this.
On average, you might be somewhat, because it's probably harder to be a minority in any culture than it is to be the majority. But it isn't the fundamental determinant of the outcome of your life. It's one element, and it's an important element. It's not good for anyone if prejudice doesn't allow us to use all available human capital, right? Even from a purely selfish perspective, it's foolish. So, and why do we think that? A lot of it's ignorance. It's, people don't know, for example, that up until 1880, 95% of the Western world lived below today's UN established poverty line.
Yeah.
We have no idea how much dramatic improvement has been made in the last 150 years and how absolutely god-awful things were before that. And we don't know that because we've never been hungry, for example, not for one day.
Right. Okay. So now that we've laid out that, yes, we are living in the most free, open-minded, inclusive societies on Earth, then what's driving this?
Well, ignorance is part of it, right? We just don't know. And you look around and you see, well, things could be better, so they're bad. It's like, true, things could be better. And that is bad. Well, bad compared to what? Well, certainly bad compared to a hypothetical ideal, but not bad compared to all extant historical comparisons. So, but that requires differentiated knowledge. And once you have the ideology, you don't need the differentiated knowledge because you already have the explanation. Plus, it's convenient. You don't have to look at yourself, and you have an enemy. And that's the part that scares me the most, you see. I mean, you don't have to look at yourself. Yeah, that's a bad, but now you have an enemy, and that enemy is the cause of everything you hate. And now you have all moral justification to go after them, to hurt them, to stop them because they're evil, and to elevate yourself morally as a consequence. So you have this unearned pathway to moral superiority that's actually dependent on your willingness to unfairly persecute based on your ignorance. It's terrible. And universities promote this. Well, you should be an activist. That's essentially what every 19-year-old is taught. It's like, no, you shouldn't be an activist. You should get your own house in order. And then you should cautiously proceed to more difficult things if you dare.